Fuck you, Steve. You better give me something, damn it. You better give me something, Steve. Damn it, I know it's been a long night, but this is why you get to let your long, and I mean, it's getting long ass hair down, and really enjoy yourself right here on the Nightly Fix. Please like and subscribe. Go to our Foolish Club Media page on YouTube, like and subscribe, and you can catch everything that we do here on Foolish Club Media, including today. Did you see our guy right there? The B Block Podcast. Brandon Scott. There is no Osita tonight. This is the guy, let's be honest. Steve, we gotta have to do this. Brandon Scott is in for Osita tonight, and he is in. As I said, check him out every Tuesday and Thursday. He has the B Block Podcast. Dropped one today. I know he had an interview, had Big Sarge on with him. Big Sarge is a character, folks. So if you ain't familiar with Big Sarge, just go check out old Big Sarge every Tuesday and Thursday. But Serda, clearly Osita is of anybody at Foolish Club, anybody from Brandon to Brian B. Shining, who Brian's World will come out tomorrow from, and he's got a pretty cool interview set up for that too, from Rocky to Kramer to everybody who is a BK. Everybody's a part of it. Osita is clearly the one with the least amount of experience. And this Joker has missed now his second night since we have started this show.
I mean, I don't think that's fair.
It's very, very fair.
Those other people do shows once a week. We're doing this 5 nights a week. Like it's a lot. So you got to take nights off sometimes. It's fine.
I got to say this.
But you saying he running from the grind, though. You saying right here to open this show in Osita's absence that Osita is running from the grind.
I'm just speaking
before the grind even started.
I'm just speaking honestly about him. And somehow, I don't know if this is the evening we're going to have to do this. And shout out to our every nighters. But I don't know if this is going to be the night that we're going to have to hash this out. I feel like Osita needs to be here, but your protective spirit for Osita, Steve, is really, I'm really about over it. I mean, your first.
That's what I would say to anyone, though.
Like, shut up! Shut up!
We're not changing lives here. Sometimes people need a night off. It's okay.
Fuck you. We are changing lives. Okay, we are changing lives.
Don't undersell the show. Don't undersell the show. So we might damn well be changing lives out here.
We're not doctors on the pit. Like sometimes people need a night off. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I encourage everyone to take time off when they
First off, not that wank Santos, but outside of her, I am a doctor.
I'm gonna say, sir, I feel like you surgical with this shit, man.
Don't
sell yourself short, dog.
I don't know what's going on with him, but there is like your natural feel and move is to protect Osita. I mean, it is rather cute, but I don't know.
I'm just encouraging. I like to be
encouraging to him. There's nothing. There is nothing that you want. That right now, I'm just telling you, the honeymoon is so long. I am just waiting for the just the small fallout. I don't want to be a big fallout where there's a fight on the show, but just the small fallout. You know, like when me and Vern had our first one, Darian Williams. That like a small. That's what we named it. It's the Darian Williams fight with me and Vern. The first time with me and Vern almost really got after it in a break, and Steve had no idea that we were in there about to go at it. Now we weren't about to fight, but we had gotten into it about Darian Williams. But that's when you makes it stronger. This little love affair that you two have is a little out there. By the way, Lakers. T-Wolves, and this is, I believe, a must-win game. The Lakers have controlled this thing from the jump. Their 2 stars are rolling out. We are almost to the half, and to the half. And the Lakers, they've had a lead up into like 23, up into the mid-20s. I think they're going to go to the half, up double figures here, up 15, up 15 right now, going into the half. So So yeah, hey, that's what we need. We need right here. We need that. We just needed to get ourselves together there for a second. Need to get that. Luka went out here and got off. Then LeBron, Luka. Let's see, Reeves and get it here, but they're getting everybody involved defensively. If they could just, if it ain't Julius Randle, he shut everybody else's water. Edwards got a little hot there towards the end, but that's what we need right there, Steve. Come on now, let's go now. Oh, B. Scott, that's what we need. Come on, late show.
Man, look, y'all just lucky that the Wolves ain't shooting worth a damn, and they did the last game. That's all that's happening. And the defense is better. I will give the Lakers this much credit. The energy that they're showing in this game, it feels and looks way different. Like they're ripping and running in a way that they did not in game one. I feel like their Gabe Vincent minutes are valuable or have been valuable. Like they look like a different team, and Luka has just been Luka. What did he have? Like something like 16 in the first quarter or something crazy like that. Luka was great in the first game. He's been great in this game. The difference is everybody else showed up to play tonight.
Yeah, and defensively, and also Minnesota, and I think the defensive problems in game one was a part of it, but they especially from the sources were unusually hot, right? Naz Reid is a good player and a capable shooter. He's not generally a 6 for 9 from three shooter, right? Like they had Edwards can knock down shots and White Dante can knock down shots, but like they had a couple of guys where you just like, yeah, I don't want to leave him up. Like Julius Randle, he's not a great shooter. He chipped it about 4. You make 20 plus threes in a game, and that's not normally your output. But they tightened some things up. They made some adjustments, so they look straight. I just want to I want to kind of start here. We'll see what happens. This is a long series, a long way to get to the end, a long way till June. All of these series have been entertaining, except for the ass whooping that is occurring in Oklahoma City. With the exception of that, like the Warriors and Rockets, and we will get to them. That's been entertaining. Obviously, these games haven't really been close yet between the Timberwolves and the Lakers, but it seems like this is headed for 6 or 7 games. The Nuggets Clippers series has been extremely entertaining. This thing seems to be entertaining in the West. But I don't know. But I just Steve and Brandon want to check the rules, and those in the chat, you can jump in as well. I want to check the rules of engagement here. How does this work? So let's say that the Lakers go on a run, and they go on a run, and they somehow win the title. But Luka is looked at as the MVP of this thing. Luka plays, let's say, for example, the KD role that he played with the Warriors and Steph. Right? Steph's still a great player, but KD was clearly the best player in the playoffs for them and was the MVP of both those series. Let's say Luka is the MVP. Is like the way they're going right now. Luka had 37 in the first game. Luka is in the 20s right now. I think LeBron is playing really good on both ends of the floor. But clearly right now, if there were an MVP for the Lakers of the playoffs, it would be in the 2 games, a game and a half, it'd be Luka. Does this, with that, I'm just trying to figure out the rules of this thing, fellas. Would that count to people for LeBron getting closer to Jordan? Because it would be his 5th. It would be his 5th title. But like Steph, like there's been other like Dwayne Wade, like Steph, he's not the hell. Kevin Garnett was considered the second piece as Paul Pierce won the MVP. Would this be game on? LeBron's gotten 5. Would this be this? By the way, some people don't want to know this. Kobe was the number 2 on 3 of them championships he won. So like would this count to moving him closer to Jordan? I'm just trying to get the rules of engagement if this occurs. That probably won't happen. But if it did, I just what's the rules of this?
do we acknowledge on the front end that the rules suck to begin with?
I know that. I love that you're in it because you hate this stuff. You hate the rules that we put in.
I mean, the idea that LeBron is chasing them just by rings alone, like I look at it like this. What role would Michael Jordan play on a championship team at age 40? Would he be the number one option, or would he be in a similar role? Would he be the third guy? Like, I don't think that Michael Jordan at 40 could have been the best player on a championship team. And I damn sure don't think he'd be playing as well as LeBron is right now. So I think you would have to put that into consideration, but people won't. And I think the rules, which I'm acknowledging on the front end, are terrible, are bad, because we're doing the whole ring chasing thing and not considering the fact that this guy is still a top 8 to 10 player at age 40 in the league. And Michael Jordan simply was not that. Look, to me, it's already set in stone. He don't need this title to pass Jordan. He's been past Jordan a long time ago for me. But as far as the rules go, which suck, yeah, I think he would get a knock for being the second best player on the championship team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he should, and I feel like people don't say that about Kobe because it was like early in his career, and I mean, he certainly shouldn't be knocked for doing what he's doing at 40. Like, he still averaged like 24 points a game this season. Like, he was still, at this age, he's still an incredible player, still one of the absolute best players in the NBA. But I feel like but everybody discounts all of the titles, I feel like, anyways, because it's like, outside of the one in Cleveland, like Miami, it's like, oh, he had to go get Bosh and Wade. And then
that's right. The Cleveland one is the only one that counts, right?
Yeah. And then the Lakers, it was like, oh, it was, COVID, like bubble. And, they had to go get Anthony Davis for him to like get that one. And so it's like, in some people's minds, it's never going to matter, no matter how many he wins. And it doesn't even seem like LeBron's like necessarily hanging it up anytime soon. So who's to say he couldn't actually get to 6 rings? But people have just already made up their mind about it. But it's absolutely indisputable that him playing at this level at this age and doing it for as long as he has is unlike anything we have ever seen in the sport, including Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was not doing this at 40.
I think some great points were brought up in this, because I think it damn sure should count, right? Like, but I don't think so. When you bring up Kobe, Serda, I don't think we were doing or even thought to put Kobe in the conversation of best of all time. And so that's why I don't think it ever reached a point of, hey, Kobe, your championships don't really count when it comes to this. Because right now they say he has 5. And it's almost like the last several years of Kobe. And when I say several, post Shaq, it almost makes it feels like all of that went all into one. And like Shaq wasn't clearly the MVP in those 3 straight finals that he won. Now, I will say Shaq pulled a little, and maybe LeBron might think about this. Shaq did pull a little bit of, hey, man, why don't you hold it down against the Spurs? Why don't you hold it down in the West? And then when we get out here and play the Pacers and the Nets, I'm about to come guns a-blazing, and I'm going to take this bitch over. But I don't think people really ever put Kobe in that conversation, so they never really critically looked at his championships the way that they look at LeBron's. And then I think what you said, Brandon, is one that I don't know if people will give it credit for, but if he is 40 and one of the driving forces, which he would have to be if this were to happen, he'd have to be, at the very least, the Dwayne Wade of the team he was in Miami. He'd have to be the Steph Curry that to Kevin Durant. And we don't take anything away from those guys from being that. But his age, and if he is one of the driving forces, I think his age has to play a role into that whole little debate.
Yeah, I don't know how it doesn't. Like, I mean, again, like Serda just said, man, it's unprecedented. We've never seen anybody play at this level at this age And I would say, even if you were to compare him to, like you just did, to the Dwayne Wade role or the Steph Curry role, or let's even say the Scottie Pippen role, the other guy, the second guy on the championship team, show me a better version of that. Like, show me a better second option than LeBron James, even at 40 years old. So, like, and nobody.
But that's weird because that was Steph's prime.
Right.
Like that was Steph's prime when he was, at least in the playoffs, that team's number 2.
And even in Steph's prime, he can't do all of the things that LeBron James can do on both, especially when he's right. When he's healthy and when he's right, LeBron James just affects the game in so many different ways. Now, Steph Curry, obviously the greatest shooter ever with unlimited range. That in and of itself has a certain level of value to it. But LeBron James is giving it to you from pretty much every aspect of the game and on both ends of the floor, even at this age. So to me, it's a ridiculous conversation to have, because you know who LeBron James is? They do all this damn Michael Jordan comparison. To me, the comparison is ridiculous. Like, it's silly and an insult to LeBron James. LeBron James is basically, what if Michael Jordan was Karl Malone's size? You know, or what if Karl Malone could play like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan? You know what I mean? Like, he is a reimagination of what is supposed to be possible. And we've seen more examples of that since LeBron James, but from Kevin Durant, you know, what he can do at his size, Giannis. Like, the game has evolved since then.
Even smaller versions like Julius Randle, who's playing right now, this size and to be able to dribble, move, and shoot like that.
And even with those names that we just mentioned, like LeBron James is like, greatness kind of stands alone or is singular. So I just it's ridiculous to me. Michael Jordan couldn't play 5 positions, couldn't guard 5 positions, and was not as big as LeBron James. So it's just it's ridiculous. No, he doesn't have as many rings, but if we're talking about individual greatness, rings, that's a team sport. Individual greatness is advantage LeBron James 8 days out of the week for me.
Serda, you crack me up with that shit, man. Hey, you ain't lying. I think the Cleveland championship is the only one that I think the people who like try to talk about the great is the only one that I think they count for.
How about this? How is it that LeBron James, and you could even discount the Cleveland one if you want to talk about Draymond Green being suspended.
Yeah, you're right. The stimulus package that they said.
Every one of his championships with LeBron James, every single one of this guy's championships got some kind of qualifier on it, got some kind of asterisk or hating that somebody wants to put on it. This is not me doing that. We're talking about the narrative and the conversation and him being close. Every single one of those championships has one of those types of narratives attached to it. Whereas on the other side, Michael Jordan has none of that. He is beyond reproach. He has no blemishes. Like, none of his championships have qualifiers on it. Nobody talks about the strength of the opponent in any of those championships. Like, he kind of just gets the benefit of the doubt at every turn, whereas LeBron doesn't at all.
And I want to explain this because I am a LeBron guy, but I also love Michael Jordan. Like, when you say that, Jordan shouldn't have qualifiers, but LeBron shouldn't. Like, it like, if we want to determine what's more impressive, that's one thing. But it is like, oh no, man, they got the Mickey Mouse trophy, or oh no, he had he came up short against Dallas, so that completely negates the fact that they won the next 2, and they beat that team that had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden all on it at once.
Jordan doesn't have a finals like that, though. We can't acknowledge that.
No, that one.
If there's one thing in his favor, is that he doesn't have a 2011 type of finals performance or type of blemish on his resume.
No, yeah, that is LeBron's Patrick Mahomes' second half against the Bengals. That is LeBron's Patrick Mahomes' first half against the Eagles. By the way, Serda, you watched it too, B. Scott. I didn't even mean to slide here. Which one was the worst? Because those are the two I have that personally seeing. Like the Tampa one, I mean, I don't know how much that was as much on him. But the first half against the Eagles, and then that second half in the AFC Championship game, of which they lost to the Bengals, which one was Mahomes' worse? That that Bengals one, ever since when he lost his mind at the end of the half and threw that ball to Tyreek Hill and got tackled in bounds with no timeouts, that second half, I still think is the worst I've watched him play. Although the Eagles' first half in the Super Bowl was horrific.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you say, Serda, that the Eagles, it felt like that was more about what the Eagles, and the one that Ron's talking about against the Bengals was more about Mahomes, but just be straight up being bad?
Yeah.
Like I thought the Eagles made him bad.
No, yeah, totally. I think the Eagles just
too.
dominated, and they rattled him early, and then he was bad too. Like he was just missing and making bad decisions. But like the Bengals game, it wasn't like that wasn't a particularly talented Bengals team. Like their defense wasn't great, but it for some reason had given Mahomes some problems. But he was dominating in the first half, and then they mess up on a 4th and goal right before halftime, and then he just like unraveled in the second half and fell apart in a way that we had never really seen him do that. But I think that, but also like when you go look at Mahomes' Super Bowl performances, like if you really like break down statistically, like he doesn't have like crazy numbers in the Super Bowl, and part of that is because you're playing the other best team in the NFL that has made it that far, and you're getting. You have been preparing your entire season for that one performance going into that one game. And so you get the best performances from both of these teams. So generally speaking, it's just hard to like go out and do a Super Bowl and throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns or something like that. But he's never put up huge numbers in any of those games, but he does have the moments that matter. And those moments that matter have led to the rings, which is why I don't think he gets knocked for having the Super Bowl losses in the same way, because you could also like we only talk about Brady's wins and not the losses, and you could pick apart all the years that Brady didn't even make it to a Super Bowl and say that Mahomes has never had seasons like that. And with LeBron too, I think it's just like I don't think he has to be the best player in the world if the Lakers go on a run and win this whole thing. And Luka is certainly capable of carrying that team and being the best player in the world, like at this stage of his career. But with LeBron, there's going to be his naysayers and people who never want to give him credit anyways, because they've built careers off of doing that. But LeBron, I think, just needs like a couple of special moments, like that people are going to say, like, that's why they won a title or something that's like memorable if they make it to another finals or something like that. And he's fully capable of doing that. He's more than capable of doing it at this point.
Yeah, in normal worlds, I think that would be the case. LeBron is and I think Mahomes is starting to slide into this a bit, but LeBron is not in normal lane. Like people legit believe he didn't, like Kyrie carried him to that championship. Like Kyrie hit that shot. Even though he led everybody in the series that included multiple Hall of Famers, even though he did that, like led everything where it's in every major statistical category, it is still thought that like he was carried by and bailed out by Ray Allen on a shot, and he was bailed out by Kyrie Irving. So I think most cases that would be the deal, but I think obviously we've seen like the rules just are different for him for many, not everybody, but for many people who try to, put that or talk about that debate.
It feels like he's one of the few guys where when your teammates come through for you, it works against you.
Yes,
because that's
John
all
Paxton.
that's all that happened, right? Like, yeah, like nobody does this with Steve Kerr, right? And maybe that's because, Michael passed him the ball and they got that footage of them talking about it in the timeout before the play. And it's one of those kind of moments, but it's like one of those few instances where the success of your teammates is counted against you and takes against your greatness for some weird reason. Another thing that I feel like he doesn't get credit for as well, and I feel like it's because he's not necessarily as likable. And I'm saying all of this as somebody that doesn't actually really like LeBron James. I just feel like he's undeniable. I'm not a big fan of the guy as much as I was probably before, but I don't know how you look at the resume and deny it. But like, if Michael Jordan, who for whatever reason is a lot more likable to other people, if Michael Jordan changed the fate of 3 different franchises, and one of them he did it for him twice, right? Like, changed the fate of 3 different franchises throughout the course of his career and did it for one of them twice, that would be like a feather in the cap. That would be something that I feel like Michael Jordan would get credit for.
Yeah.
As opposed to LeBron being accused of ring chasing and creating super teams and having his teammates bail him out and all this other kind of stuff that goes against the logic of what we're actually watching.
Well, this is going to be shown all night long. Anthony Edwards just killed Jackson Hayes at the rim. I mean, just absolutely dunked all over.
Did he do him like John Collins? Remember that John Collins one from last year?
No, he wasn't above him, but Jackson came to contest, and it was a mistake. It was a blatant mistake. All right, Steve, I need you to step in because Serda has cracked me up this entire time. Now, how would you describe your feelings about the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors matchup? Steve, you have made a couple of comments on how you feel. I just like your assessment of this series.
I mean, I know, Brandon.
Careful, Steve. Careful, Steve. Come on, man. Don't hurt my feelings, dog.
I just said that it was blatantly obvious that this team, while consistent, like lots of contributors top to bottom, and that's why they had a good record. That's why they played their way into a high seed in the West this season. They have lots of guys. Like, they're a deep team that can play well all around basketball, but they're lacking in star power. And we see these kinds of teams all of the time in the NBA. And then they run up against a team that might not be as deep top to bottom as they are, but they have the difference makers that Houston simply doesn't. And that's exactly how this series feels to me.
Brandon, I feel like this is how a lot of people nationally feel. I feel like a lot of people have a similar feel about this series. And it feels like, to me, from a national perspective, just from a perspective overall of how people are watching this series, it feels like this is the least confident 2 seed. That's absolute 2 seed, the least confident 2 seed facing a 7 seed from a national perspective that I think I've ever seen. And I don't mean, and I want to make this clear to you and the people that are with us. I'm not saying that this is the worst 2 seed. I'm saying the matchup with who is the particular 7 seed, the confidence is this has to be the least confident 2 seed in a 7 matchup that I think I've ever heard or seen.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the reasons for that are pretty obvious. It's because of the things that Serda was just talking about with them not having the star power. And then, so Houston is I would say a peculiar 2 seed in the sense that they're lacking that star power. Normally when a team is that good, they do have that. And then Golden State on the other end of that is a unique 7 seed because a lot of times the 7 seed doesn't have the kind of pelts on the wall and the kind of equity buildup that the Warriors have. Like, everybody no one really, I think, views them as a 7 seed. They kind of just more so just view them as the Warriors. Like, Warriors got to get in. They had to get in through the play-in, whatever the case may be, but they still be the Warriors. Whereas with the Rockets, they have none of that reputation-wise. I think everything that Serda said is actually true, is accurate. It's kind of the obvious diagnosis of the series, right? Like, you got this deep team where nobody has really emerged as a star for the Rockets, and you got obviously a top-heavy Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler led team.
Oh, come on, Brandon. Are they fucked? Are the Rockets fucked in this series?
But this is what I'm saying. I thought that the whole depth versus top heavy thing was something that could still work out in the Rockets' favor if they just played to their fucking standard. Like I didn't feel like the issue, honestly, and they need star power. And we talked a little bit about this on the radio today. They need star power, and perhaps the difference between star power and not is consistency. Okay, and their guys aren't consistent enough, at least on the offensive end of the floor. But man, if they could just be themselves, like Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green shot like shit, even among their own standards, right? Like even worse than what they would normally shoot. So to me, it's not even an issue of them not having a star, especially in this particular matchup. It's if these some bitches just play to their own standard and to their own ability. I like the physical matchup in the Rockets' favor still. Now, does that mean that they will? Does that mean that they are ready for the moment? Time is going to tell that. They didn't look like it in game one. That's for damn sure. I mean, that was the biggest thing that stood out to me. They came out and you could see the physical matchup, the physical mismatch, I should say, in the Rockets' favor, the way that game started. And by the end of it, by the second quarter, you could see the difference between experience and lack thereof. And
see that's where that's where it gets me.
And the Rockets didn't.
That's where it gets me late. Like I get what you're saying about if they just play to themselves. Now, first off, Fred VanVleet, I just don't understand how we enter a ball game and he is the one that's taking the most shots on the team. That can't be it to me, right? I like it, and even if that is what the Warriors are trying to game plan as, that just can't be. That can't be the deal of like, hey man, Fred, man, we got to figure something else. And to me, I was disappointed that Fred didn't do a better job of getting them into better sets and getting better shots. To me in the game, I know I know some of it was by design that he was left open, but I was disappointed that the veteran wasn't able to get better shots more consistently down the stretch. So
yeah, that part is disappointing, but I also think that is basically a culmination of the fact that they don't have that star. Like to me, if they have that star, that if what Serda is saying is not true, instead of the fact that it is, like if they do have that star, that's not happening. If Jalen Green does know how to pick his spots, does know where to go with the ball when they're packing the paint, does know what kind of decisions to make in that situation, and he's been bad against the Warriors all year. If he plays like a star, then Fred VanVleet doesn't have that green light or doesn't feel like he needs to take that green light every time. So to me, that is just indicative of them not having that guy. If they did, then it wouldn't look like that. When Fred VanVleet played with Kawhi Leonard, he didn't play like that. When Kawhi was gone, he started shooting like he thought he was Steph, and he does the same thing now. And it's going to take somebody to actually take over and be that guy, especially from the perimeter, for him to not do that.
He just can't get up 20 shots.
And Jabari Smith's got like 3 or 4.
Well, that's the part is he gets up 13 attempts, and Amen Thompson and Jabari Smith combined for 12 attempts together.
Can't happen.
That just can't. That can't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they are fucked. And
you're probably right.
And to the like for me is I think a lot of things are going their way in this series. I think if you go, they played 6 times now. If you go and look at the scores of these games, only one game, I think it was like 127-121, and that might have been one of the first ones they played. Only one game has probably been played at the pace that the Warriors would want. Their games, they got a 91-90 game in there. They got like this last one was 95-85. They play the game in their pace, but it's always tight. Like it's always tight towards the end. And to me, when that happens, as Serda said right off the jump, the advantage is so strong. The advantage is so strong coming to the Warriors when it comes to that because they know exactly where they want to go. And they got two places that they can go with ease. And the Rockets somehow keep having Fred VanVleet shooting it. Hell, 2 weeks ago they had Dylan Brooks shooting fadeaways against the Lakers late in the game. So that to me is why I think they're screwed. Because for me, I feel like the way that you can feel most confident about the Rockets is if they get out in front and they have a lead, and it doesn't come down to the experience in the late game play. And I don't know how often they're going to be able to pull that off.
Hey, but look, I'll point this out since you brought up pace. You want to talk about something that's discouraging for a Rockets fan, or if you're on the Rockets side of this, you're talking about them playing at the pace that they want. Not in this past game. Like, that was what was shocking. Save for the first couple of minutes of the game, the Warriors actually outpaced the Rockets. Like, if you go look at it, they got way more fast break points. In comparison, they had 16 fast break points compared to the Rockets only 4. Like, they only got out in transition and got 4 points. How are you the Rockets playing against the Warriors, the young athletic Rockets against the old slow Warriors, and you have 4 fast break points to end the game, and the Warriors have 16? Like that also cannot happen. So they're not getting out in transition. They're not knocking down shots. They're not getting good shots, and when they do, they're missing those. So it's just all around bad offensively for the Rockets. And if it's going to look like that, then it's going to be a real short series. I think if they play the way, something closer to how they've actually played throughout the season, and to the Warriors' credit, they have not necessarily done that against the Warriors. But if they're able to do that, then this is going to be a competitive series. The games will be worth watching. If it's going to look like that, man, it's close the curtain.
I think Ime Udoka should issue out threats to Fred. Fred, if you're going to do this, your ass is like standing up and just staring his ass down like a college coach. Get your ass out of here. I think there should be threats on Fred if he keeps taking upon himself to just jack up shots. Fred, cool that shit down. Cool that shit.
That's his guy.
Get out of here. All right, hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Get me a little nervous here. The T-Wolves trying to make a little run there, but the Lakers have restored order a bit here, 69-51, and they forced a timeout here as the Lakers are back in control of this thing. But again, like the NBA, man, we see leads just get shrinked in for a league that don't play defense. Boy, we can see a 20-point lead just get evaporated with quickness. I do want to, and Brandon is filling in, Steve. Brandon is filling in as Osita is out today. and we will get a heat check in. Brandon said he has got the heat check covered. I mean, he's filling all the way in for Osita, who is those of you. I'm not scoring at home. This is his second time he has missed a show. So, but Brandon Scott and my man, every Tuesday, every Thursday, right here on Foolish Club Media, the B Block podcast. You can catch that every Tuesday, every Thursday. Foolish Club Media. What the hell you got?
It's gonna get out of the way. I might miss some shows here sometime in May. So
that makes sense. That makes sense. Why you were defending his ass is because you knew it's coming.
I need time off too. We're getting once we get post NFL draft. That's time to take some vacation. Get a few days off here or there.
Yeah, I'm sure that now it makes sense. But by the way, as you just said, that Serda is we got several hundred people here with us right now. Shout out to you. Like and subscribe on Foolish Club Media. Please head to our YouTube page. Steve, Foolish Club Media, we will be off on Thursday because the Nightly Fix tomorrow will be our last day of the week. And by the way, Black Movie Review from Serda, Love Jones is what's coming next week.
We'll see. I have not had time to watch it yet, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to watch it tomorrow.
I'm just going to tell you this right now. I have had a similar situation like this. Don't fuck me over on the second one. I'm just telling you right now.
Not that I don't be that guy.
It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just been very busy this week, especially with trying to get things in place for the NFL draft night. I just haven't had a lot of extra time, and I had to prioritize going to see Sinners. That was number one priority. So
Jordan would have watched it. Now listen.
Wait a minute though. Hold on. I got to give you shit for a second, Ron. Since you want to call people out for missing work and everything. Don't act like you don't have a dude that's filling in for Osita right now. Ain't the same dude that's had to fill in for you twice when you went to Disneyland and when you didn't go to Disneyland or Disney World. My bad. Disney World.
I would just like to say first, unnecessary. You can sit back. You weren't even in this. Second,
I did for Osita and for your absent ass.
Second, I put in my time. Okay, we 5 years in the game. Hey, we just kicking this puppy off. No, I'm just saying, man, we just started March 16th, Osita, and you didn't miss 2. And now Steve has clearly told me he's going to miss the entire month of May. And so now we're just
the entire month of May. It's days in May, probably.
It's good. By the way, you did bring up draft coverage. We're off. The Nightly Fix is off on Thursday. Black Movie Review from Serda, Love Jones. Lorenz Tate will turn into Old Dog on your ass real quick. He will go from his character in Love Jones to one of the scariest villains in the history of film. From Menace to Society, he will turn on your ass and shoot your ass over some cheeseburgers. So do not miss this. But
range,
Steve, absolute range, and a twin brother that might catch you off guard. But Steve, you, I know we're covering the draft start to finish, and you'll explain that. You know better about how that's going. I know you and Rocky.
Yeah. So if you follow our regular season NFL coverage, mostly covering the Kansas City Chiefs, me and Rocky Magana do the post game show, and Rocky and Kramer have really held down the NFL draft coverage leading up to this week's draft. So on Thursday, me and Rocky be back together like it's the regular season, hosting a Chiefs post-game show, but we're going to be live for the entirety of the first round of the NFL draft right here on Foolish Club Media. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, it's going to be the place to be on Thursday. And then everybody who's a part of the network, hopefully will stop by at some point and just hang out with us. And hopefully we'll get a lot of action in Thursday night's first round.
It's the draft's a big day for us at Foolish Club. That is when we debuted last year. It's been a damn year, Steve. When we debuted last year at the draft, and we had a really good showing. But we were 6-7 deep at times covering the thing. So hey, it'll be around. I know pick 25 is important to Brandon Scott, or at least we'll see how much that is. But we will do our coverage, as we said. BK should stop by. We'll see Brandon Scott may stop by as we're doing the whole first round. Rocky, of course, as you said, will be doing it. Kramer may stop by. Brian B. Shining will stop by. I will stop by. So we will cover.
Osita said he'd probably.
Osita will stop by, and obviously we'll need. He'll bring what he brings to the table, and so I mean you just won't get quite any coverage like you will at Foolish Club Media. All right, let's do this. Speaking of Osita, let's hit that heat check, Steve.
When you go to the movies, leave your significant other at the crib, man. It's better that way. I'm telling you, I did this with Sinners. This is one of my guilty pleasures, and I wouldn't even say guilty because I enjoy the shit. I much more enjoy going to the movies by myself without having to worry about a date or who you're with or anything like that. You get to focus solely on a movie. I realize this about myself. I prefer to watch a movie at home with the people at the house, and I prefer to go to the movies without the people at the house. Like leave them at the house. It's a therapeutic experience. You get to get away from the fray. Nothing better than going in there with the popcorn on your lap by yourself. Don't have to worry about anybody else putting their hand in your popcorn. None of that. It's better that way. I'm gonna say for me, my heat check, going to the movies by yourself, therapeutic experience. Everybody should do it.
Yeah.
And Steve, I don't think he's going to get any argument from us. If I know you the way that I know you, Steve, we routinely do this.
I've been touting this for years, for decades, even. It's my preferred way to go to the movies. I like to go by myself, and I still go with people sometimes. Like me and my girlfriend go see movies together, but like when it's something like Sinners, like something that I'm like really, really into, like I love Ryan Coogler. I think he's an incredible director, and I know it's going to be like an experience. Like that's something I just want to go experience on my own. I could sit back, relax. I turn off my cell phone and I just immerse myself in the story that is unfolding in front of me. And I think people that poke fun at people who go to the movies by themselves are insecure and they're not comfortable within themselves,
Steve.
And that's why they do that, because it is a truly freeing and therapeutic experience. When I'm stressed out and I'm busting my ass and I'm juggling way too many things, if I can carve out a few hours to just go to the movies in the middle of the afternoon, I feel like a burden's been lifted and I feel like a million times better afterwards.
Hey, I thought it was the IMAX. I thought it was the fact it was the second watch, but really it was the fact that it was just me by myself. And
so you went one with and one without to see Sinners.
Thursday night we go see Sinners together. We enjoyed it, had a good time together. Since then, we have both gone and seen it separately and alone in IMAX. And she and I both tell you, it ain't the IMAX and it ain't the second watch. Both of those enhance the experience, right? Like having seen the story before, having been able to process it, and now you get to see it again. And IMAX, Serda, you and I were texting about this, man. There are a few scenes in Sinners, if you haven't seen it yet, that you just absolutely have to experience in IMAX. But man, it wasn't just that. It wasn't the IMAX. It wasn't the second watch. It was the solo dolo nature of it. And she would tell you the same. There was something therapeutic about just being in there by yourself.
There is nothing like grabbing a solid matinee by yourself. I used to, when I worked at the children's hospital I used to work with, like my schedule was I'd have to work every other weekend. So that meant I had a day off during the week. And I'd have like a Tuesday off. I would routinely go to the movies by myself. Like, give me an 11 o'clock, 11:30 start. I would go in there.
Love a midday.
Listen, when I say that I'm with you on this so much, and my wife is too. I think we have both on a Mother's Day and a Father's Day for a gift just asked to go to the movies by themselves. Like, here, man, you take the kids or whatever. I'm just gonna go to the movies by myself. I am certain we have both done this. By the way, I don't think I'm going to ever go see Sinners. Um, I think I'm
Was you going against the grain or something?
no,
Trying to be other.
I can't watch scary movies. I can't I can't watch. I hear it's really good. I hear a lot of people talking about it. I can't watch scary movies. So I'm out. I get nightmares, and I know that I'm 40 years old, about to be 41 in less than a month. But I get nightmares, and I
No,
that's why
these just vampires though, right? Like you can deal with vampires.
I can't.
It's not
Like
that
I
scary.
can't.
I
Like
understand the concept of
I
vampires,
wouldn't
not
even
real
say
and all of that.
it's like super scary. Like there's
that's what
definitely some jumps, like some jump scares, but I wouldn't even call it like a horror movie that like that like lingers with you or something like that.
that's
It's a lot deeper, a lot more like artistic.
again.
For that.
Again, you don't know what lingers with me, and I don't know that I will grab the artistry of it because I will be tripping about some stuff. Like Get Out was as far as I got. I never watched Us. I never watched any of those, and I like Jordan. I thought Get Out was good. I had to watch that one during the day. That one still stuck with me. That time when the grandfather whatever was on the dead sprint and then turned off on the edge like that stuck with me for a long time. That messed with me. And then like them white people putting people in the sunken place. Nah, bro, that was problematic for me. So I heard Sinners. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Had to go get it. You've seen it multiple times. I'm sure Steve will see it 4 or 5 times before it's over. I just can't. I can't mess with Sinners. Can't.
Yeah, I think what Steve is saying though about the artistic nature of it, and like one of the cool parts about the movie is that it kind of defies genre. Like it could be 2 to 3 different things. And so that's one of the kind of the charm. It definitely is like going to be classified as like horror or whatever, but to me, there's a lot of messaging to it. And not to give too much of a spoiler, it takes a while for them to get to the actual scary shit anyway. Like you get a chance, Sinners in particular, you get a chance to really get immersed in the story, I think, before it really gets scary, save for the opening episode or the opening scene, I would say.
So you are admitting, as Serda just said, there are some jumps in it, and you are admitting there is some.
And the first
It starts with jumps.
the first 30 seconds of the movie.
It starts with jumps, but
So-
then it
so now-
calms
so now-
down for about 30 minutes of jumps.
But Brandon, you're just lying. You just told me it takes a while before you get to the scary stuff.
I just spoiled it for you and told you to be ready for a jump in the first 30 to 60 seconds.
But
you'll be good.
It took Serda coming in here and telling the truth about it before, because I would have been in there just chilling.
I said the opening scene. The opening scene has got a little jump in it, but you'll make it. Like you said, you're a 40-something-year-old man, head of a household. You can make it through a vampire movie, dog.
No, I will not be partaking in that one, and I'm just going to miss that one. And I understand it. Like I've missed Jordan Peele. I've missed some of his good shit because it's scary. Like when they was playing that, I got 5 on it music, and that. Nah, I'm out, Judge. Can't do that.
That's one of the best moments of cinema, man. What are you talking about? How they freaked I Got 5 on it to make it a horror score?
Very creative. I still ain't got it. I ain't got it, man. Shout out to the Bay Area.
I'm actually with you though on scary movies. Like if you were to give me a genre, like if we were to play Jeopardy, like movie Jeopardy, and horror movies was the genre, I would flame out. I probably only have the black ones that you just mentioned and a handful of others. Scream, like a handful of others, but I ain't got all of them because I'm not. Maybe I don't know. This is something to study. Do we really do horror like that?
When you say we black folks, I think black folks do. I think black folks do horror. I don't. I think black folks do horror. I know a lot of people.
What about Candy? You seen Candyman? We might have to do this, Serda. You do black movies. Ron does horror movies.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not participating.
I'm
not participating.
Man, have you? I can't.
I know. I've had opportunities to see it. I know you.
It can't even scare the shit out
I
of me.
believe you just said it 3 times, which you're not supposed to there. So
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
like
Nah, man, we gonna have to close the show. What the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, you were reckless with how many times you said it. I know the concept, but no, I ain't seen it. Before we get out of here, though, and again, I'm sorry, I'm not sinners. Like what the number that Final Destination did on me, like I couldn't even drive. Like when I saw Wood Logs or something, no, the number that movie did on me, But I did want to get this before we get out. And Osita's not here because this is one of his favorite people. But somebody's got to stop Nico Harris. I mean, listen, I know that in the short time we have had this show, Nico has given us so much content and conversation and so many things to have laughed at. And we have enjoyed it. But it is getting so much to a point I need him to stop. This dumbass person, and I just don't even know any other way to say it. Steve's got the video. This is for some reason, this is the third press conference that Nico has done since the trade for Luka. For some odd reason, he has done 3 press conferences, and one of which he did in secret, in which he picked out certain people and did in secret. Like and then a week later he did one in secret, but then a week later he did one in front of everybody. It just makes no damn sense. But this is the latest thing, and every time there's a real gem that he says that really makes him look stupid. And this one, I am scared to say I don't think it could get any worse, but I believe he can find a way to get it worse. But this is Nico in his I guess he had to do an end of the season press conference after he just did a secret press conference the week before.
I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level, but really the way we looked at it is, you know, if you're putting a team on the floor that's Kyrie, Clay, PJ, Anthony Davis, and Lively, we feel that's a championship caliber team. And we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage. And so unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to, go on and on.
You just have to be incredibly stupid to say that out loud. Like, even if it's true, even if it was true, to say like it behind closed doors, like, man, I am really surprised of the reaction from the fan base. I mean, I knew that he was a fan favorite, but I really you don't come to the press conference and say, now that you have seen it, now you've gotten a chance to see the reaction, come to the press conference and then say, yeah, but I just really didn't know the level of care that they had towards Luka. That right there is the craziest thing anyway. I cannot believe he said that. And I should be able to believe he said that because he says stupid stuff all the time. I just, like, we've been beyond fireable, but that's just absolutely fire. I mean, that you cannot, who the hell does it? Right. That's like Brett Veach trading Patrick Mahomes, Serda, and saying, boy, shit. I mean, I knew Kansas City like Patrick Mahomes, but boy, I just really misjudged how much they love Patrick Mahomes. What the hell? I just think that boy he's insane.
He's just obviously should be fired. Like, I mean, he just needs to be fired. They need to just go ahead and get it over with. No, let's give him some time, see if he can rebuild this thing and turn it around. No, we don't need to do any of that. Just cut ties with it and move on. The damage is already done. He keeps digging himself a hole because he's just awful at his job.
But Brian, but Brandon, you've been around this. The thought is put the fire out, right?
I think it's worse than that, though. Like, it's as bad as it looks. I think it's actually worse. Because as dumb as he looks and appears to be and seems in all of this, it seems like the people that he's working for are even dumber. And so I'm not sure what that means or how that translates to his future. Like the logic says to go ahead and fire this guy, exactly what Steve said. I mean, just put him out of his misery, and everybody else, Mavs fans, everybody else out of their misery from having to deal with this guy or even think back on this move, like which is really still the chief crime in all of this. I think is even worse is the actual move that he made. But how about that clip that we just played, man? How everything that he said in there was bad and incorrect, and like or either incorrect or just like you said, Ron, how is it that you don't know? I think he could get away with the basketball point, which I think is incorrect. Like Luca with Kyrie and with Clay, I think is a lot better. But hey, to each his own. I think that's the bad basketball point from a basketball general manager, but I think he could survive that since he's already made the damn
which is also fireable. But
yeah,
the other point of not knowing.
Point, how do you not know? Like, I wonder, is he gonna be the one that blow up the spot and make it so bad to where GMs and executives across sports, and maybe just in the NBA, but across sports, have to like do some shit that was already the obvious that you figure you already knew, and that's like familiarize yourself with the popularity of your star player.
I don't think
have
so.
Have an actual meeting of the minds, a course, some kind of spreadsheet, some kind of like information that helps you better understand. Like is it going to be a requirement now that executives be educated on the popularity of their player, not just the analytics or how good they are or how hard they practice and that type of shit? I'm talking about what they actually mean to your fan base, because that has a monetary value. Like how is it even possible that he doesn't know the value of Luka Doncic to that franchise? I, for one, don't believe that, but if it's true, it's unforgivable.
Yeah, but I don't think that Nico's silly ass is going to create some sort of change like that. Like him, this is a storm of a guy who clearly and has shown multiple ways that he's not equipped to handle the job with owners that aren't equipped either. We know the Luka move. That is not just, hey Nico, man, you go ahead and get to do whatever the hell you want to do, right? Like he can trade Derek Lively, like he can make some moves. That Luka move has to be in some way signed off by ownership. So it's a double-edged thing. I tell you who like this whole thing is making me wonder. You know who hired Nico to be the GM?
Was it Cuban?
Yes. Like I'm trying to figure out what.
Yeah, I mean, I assume.
But I will point out though, because you're saying that, like, he didn't look to be a doofus until this move. That's why I brought that point up. Like, they were in the fight. I don't have to remind you. They were in the finals last year, in most part because of Luka, because they had Luka, but also I think in large part because of the moves that he made, that he facilitated at the trade deadline, that changed the makeup of their team, that compensated for the fact that Luka doesn't play. That's what's wild about it. He talks all this shit about how defense wins championships. You created a team that made up for this special offensive player that defended and hid the weakness of that guy. Like, you actually did the thing. You literally just did it. We saw you do it.
Do you?
And then you send them away. Like, it makes no sense.
Do you think you can hide? Like, if you have the card in you that says, you know what, I think I'm gonna get rid of Luka. I think I'm capable of thinking there is in some way it makes sense to get rid of Anthony Edwards. Like, do you think you can hide that card?
It felt like he did. I mean, did you see? I don't think anybody really saw it coming.
I just said I feel like that might slide out if you pulled that thing off. Like that boy is wild.
But then again, who he's accountable to? If they're just as dumb or dumber than he is, then they just in dumb heaven.
Yeah, they are. Steve, you think we ever gonna find out this story from Osita? And he just keeps slow playing this thing to the end. Like it's it's a French girl here. It is it happened at the red light. It happened at the beep. It happened like it's like, man, what happened? Did you put it on her? Like, did you?